That will help you expire quickly. So if you don't do exercises with enough mobility, fat starts accumulating in your body. Now, coming to the point about food habits, namaste, spermia is becoming a big problem. Many men, even at a very young age when fertility should be at its peak, are facing issues with spermia. If the sperm count is very low or even zero, people have tried medicines, tried Ayurveda, tried allopathy, tried homeopathy, but there's no permanent solution. Sometimes it goes from 0 to 1.5 or to 2 million, then drops back down completely. Because of this, many times our sisters get worried. There are even cases where the male hasn't even gotten checked and it's just assumed, especially in Indian families. I've seen this, it's assumed that the woman must be the one with the problem, so she gets tested. Suppose she has PCOD or a small cyst, then it's assumed that's the reason for not having children. Even if IVF fails, it's blamed on her. But the responsibility is equally on the male as well. So, if any of my sisters are listening to this video, please explain to your husband, get counseling done. Because if the sperm count is low or sperm motility is low, it's very important for a successful pregnancy. And I always say, no IVF, yoga can make it possible. No IVF, we can do it with yoga. 99% of people, tomorrow or in the future, and I'm saying this after years of experience, should not need IVF. Naturally, with a bit of yoga and some lifestyle changes, they can have their own baby. And in this initiative, I'd like to share a little today about which habits are actually destroying your sperm count. I'm going to tell you a startling point. In the last 40 years, the average sperm count in males, not just in India but across the board, has dropped by 50%. So you can imagine, there's definitely some problem. Everyone's count is going down overall. There's something wrong with our lifestyle. So, there are 5 such habits, some things you might already know, especially if you are worried about this issue and have watched a lot of videos. You might be aware of some things, but I can guarantee there are also some things that are absolute killers, silent killers, which I'm going to talk about, and you might not even know about them. Listen to the entire video, sit quietly for a while, like a husband would, and really work on this. Note down which things you absolutely must not do in the next 6 months, things you need to completely avoid. Obviously, the first point comes under food habits. There are thousands of videos on the internet about what to eat to increase sperm count, but listen to what you need to stop immediately. Especially today, I'm talking from a male perspective, so I'm going to say that you should quit smoking immediately. There is no positive effect of smoking on your body at all. It has a direct negative impact on sperm count, and not just the count, it also affects your erectile function, meaning you may not get proper erections. Nicotine plays a major role in this as well because it weakens your prostate gland. So, smoking should be stopped immediately. Nicotine also damages the gene responsible for sperm. This is called genetic fragmentation, so oxidative stress in your body increases significantly and directly. So, if you want to have a baby and you prioritize this, you should completely quit smoking. The second thing is alcohol consumption. Alcohol consumption is also not good at all, and as yoga instructors, we would absolutely advise against it. It should be reduced to 0. But model studies, show that you can consume a little bit of alcohol to some extent. How much? If you take up to 30 milliliters weekly, or up to 50 milliliters weekly, it won't cause you much harm. But since I myself was in the army for 20 years, in the Indian Air Force, I've seen heavy drinking. I've never seen anyone in my entire 20 years who sits down to drink and only has 30 to 40 milliliters a week. Anyone who sits down to drink, what is called a pack in standard civilian terms, people who go to bars usually take 50 to 60 milliliters, and they take it multiple times. Only then do they feel like, yes, today we partied. So that's the real problem. When you can't do it in a limited way, then just quit it completely. Because doing it in a limited way, studies say that drinking alcohol in moderation doesn't cause harm. I'm speaking in raw language, in straightforward language. There is actually no concept of drinking alcohol in moderation. If you drink, you'll realize from what I'm saying that there is nothing called limited. Even when you say limited, you end up having 2, 3, or 4 pegs, and that directly damages you. It shuts down your production, or at least reduces it a lot. So, get out of this. It's time to quit. You'll need a bit of willpower, a bit of mental stamina, but look at why you are doing this. What is more important to you, a half-hour party, half an hour of fun, or your child? If your child is your priority, then you can make this small change. I'm not even calling it a sacrifice. Sacrifices are made for good things. Here you are actually doing something good for yourself, right? And once you quit, not just reduce, but quit gradually and then completely, you won't even feel like going back to these habits again. Third, when it comes to food, people use recreational drugs, devape, and nowadays there are all sorts of things, some we don't even know the names of, you just hear about them here and there. So, any kind of drug, anything that's not natural for the body, anything chemical based that you are putting into your body, the body treats all of these things as urgent, as alien products. For the body, these things harm your sperm count. Fourth, eating too much processed food obviously. This includes all kinds of chips, all kinds of biscuits, pizzas, burgers, cold drinks, anything where. One of the really good dietitians on our team once explained in a lecture that anything with an expiry date written on it, just to make it easy to understand, anything that has an expiry date on it is processed food. And processed food will help you expire faster, meaning it will harm your health in the long run. So, I really liked that point that anything with an expiry date on it means it contains a lot of chemicals. You can see for yourself, there are a lot of preservatives, colors, all these things that aren't natural and they will really disturb your sperm count. I'm talking about just 6 months here. I'm not saying never eat biscuits in your life. At least until your success story is made, until you have kids, set this as a target. You have to make this much of a sacrifice. No one has ever gone into depression from not eating biscuits or died from not eating pizza. You must have rarely heard stories of someone going into depression just because they didn't eat biscuits, but there are so many stories of people falling into deep depression because they can't have children, or families where the husband-wife relationship is permanently damaged because of not having kids. I hear these kinds of stories every day. I hear them more than most. I get a lot of calls and messages about this. So, if you are ready to make these small sacrifices, then let's talk about some important things regarding food and drink. In fact, the cooking oil you use at home, why did I tell you to avoid processed food? Because I mentioned preservatives and also because processed foods have a lot of trans fats which are not natural fats, they are made through heavy chemical processing. But even the normal refined oil you use at home is the same thing, it also contains a lot of trans fats and chemicals. So, as much as possible, use natural oils, traditional Indian oils, cold pressed oils, coconut oil, you can use those. You can use desi ghee as well. Don't cook food in oil that has already been heated at high temperatures. Whatever raw oil you have, mustard oil, almond oil or coconut oil. Use whichever of these is available in your locality and say goodbye to refined oil for at least 6 months. If you want to make some small dietary changes, I've made 2 really good videos on what to eat for super fertility. Check out both those videos. Today, I'm explaining what not to do. So, the first habit was related to food and lifestyle. Now, the second habit might sound a bit strange to you, but it's very important. The second important habit that you should avoid is that you need to pay a lot of attention to your underwear. Underwear is important for both males and females. Whatever you wear on your lower body, like briefs and such, it should not be synthetic. And not just underwear, I would even say that if you want to become a parent soon, then for the next 6 to 7 months, wear only cotton or clothes made from natural fibers. There is a lot of proper scientific research on this. This is not just an assumption or a hypothesis. Many scientific studies have been conducted. Wearing synthetic clothes, especially sportswear, for people who wear them a lot, their sperm count gradually decreases. Even among top-level sportsmen, both national and international, low sperm count has been found. Low sperm motility has also been observed. These are such active people, they pay so much attention to their fitness that it seems like no disease or disorder could ever affect their bodies. They stay active with sports and keep moving. Still, it happens because they wear synthetic clothes. Avoid wearing synthetic underwear. The less you wear synthetic clothes, the better it's backed by scientific evidence. So I'm not going into explanation. Gradually, it will reduce sperm count significantly. It will drastically bring it down. Third, the next habit is prolonged gadget exposure. Many gadgets fall under this category. Among people in the IT sector, call centers, or those who do such jobs, sperm count is much lower compared to males who are not as exposed to gadgets. Why? Because of radiation, Wi-Fi radiation, various types of radio and signal radiation. What happens because of this? Your sperm production in the body drops drastically. If you work in a high Wi-Fi zone all day, constantly on your laptop or computer, your sperm count will definitely go down. Another drawback of sitting for long periods is that you have less mobility and don't exercise, which causes your body fat to increase, belly fat and thigh fat. There's a direct relationship between this and your hormonal profile. If your body fat, especially belly fat, is too high, then what happens is, even when your body produces testosterone, it gets converted into estrogen. Estrogen is basically supposed to be higher in women, not in men, so that's why your sperm count starts to go down. This is a very big vicious circle, so that's why exercising, staying mobile, keeping yourself active, and managing your body fat is extremely important. You can't just change your job, nor can you work outside of a Wi-Fi zone. But to compensate for this, you'll have to do that much more exercise and pranayam. Pranayam and meditation are very important. You need to do these extra. Even if a normal person doesn't do them, those who are exposed to these gadgets definitely should. And in terms of food habits, you need to include more antioxidant-rich foods to protect yourself. We've seen this even in the army, and it's a non-factor there. In the army, it's actually taught. People who work in radar units, any kind of radar unit, their sperm count drastically goes down. Genetic fragmentation is seen in sperm. The X and Y chromosomes start to break down in people who work with radar. That's why, in the army, those people got an extra milk allowance. Drinking more milk would reduce radiation effects. These are old ideas, and there isn't any direct scientific evidence that drinking milk will provide protection. But in the army, those people get an extra allowance so they can drink extra milk. The government actually provides a proper allowance in their salary so any damage caused by radar radiation can be addressed. So you can imagine how old-fashioned some radars still are. If you have this gadget friendliness, try to keep a little distance from it. Stop keeping your mobile phone in your pocket. How do people keep their mobile phones in their laps, constantly scrolling through them all day long? We are really overdoing it. Keep it away from yourself, put it on a table. Don't use your laptop or mobile while keeping it in your lap. I've explained this in many videos. Get rid of these habits. Fourth, notice where nature has placed the organ responsible for your sperm production. Where exactly is it located on your body? Where are the testicles situated? They're between your legs, and God gave you legs for walking, running, and moving around. So, everything in your body is interconnected. What are we doing in today's lifestyle? Why was the sperm count higher 50 years ago? And why has it dropped by 50% in the last 40 or 50 years? Because we've basically stopped walking. Most of us have jobs where we spend the entire day sitting in one chair for 8 to 9 hours. So, again, you can't really change your job, but obviously you've started walking a lot less. If you are not doing any working out, jogging, yoga, or any active sport, that's exactly why your sperm count is going down. Whenever you are sitting in the office, get up at intervals, every hour or half an hour, stand up a bit, stretch a little right there by your chair. I've made a lot of yoga videos that you can do while sitting. Son, do a little stretching or walk to the corridor. Have a glass of water, keep moving around a bit if you can't do more. It's not a completely strict environment, so instead of going out separately for jogging or walking, the simple formula is this. The organ you use to have children, the testicles, are located between your legs for a reason. Nature designed it that way. There's no scientist greater than nature, no great yoga master, and no philosopher greater than nature itself. Alright, so that's why it's placed there. It's between the legs, so your legs need to be active, only then will it function properly for production. Last but not least, sleeping too little or sleeping at the wrong time across the board. A lot of people get so stressed out. To release the stress from the whole day's work, you should do pranayam, and if you don't meditate, then even after getting into bed at night, you close your eyes but still can't fall asleep. This is a big problem. So even if you are in bed for 7 hours and you sleep for 6, but the rest of the time you are lying awake, that sleep isn't sufficient. Then comes doom scrolling. If you can't sleep, you take out your phone and start scrolling. The longer you are exposed to the screen's blue light, every time that blue light hits your eyes, your body and brain won't release melatonin properly. Melatonin is released properly only in the dark. When it gets dark, when the sun sets, your body naturally produces melatonin, especially your brain, the pituitary gland. And when melatonin is produced, it completely relaxes your brain. You fall asleep well and your body repairs itself during this time. A lot of different kinds of healing take place. But you are not allowing that because you are sleeping less and exposing yourself to light. If possible, at least after 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Don't expose yourself to any kind of screen or blue light at all. In the beginning, it will be a bit difficult. When you see that you are moving your sleep time earlier, bringing it a bit forward, then automatically you will start waking up earlier in the morning too. Now, if you end up staying awake till 1 or 2 at night, that's why you wake up at 7, 7:30 or 8 in the morning. This is also the wrong timing. Because the body's serotonin production starts with sunset and gradually reaches a peak in a steady way. There are proper scientific studies on these things. So, for those who wake up very late in the morning, their body's circadian rhythm doesn't start properly and serotonin production also gets disturbed. All these things are related to your sperm production. The pituitary hormone also releases LH hormone, which is luteinizing hormone, and it helps in your testosterone production. So, all these things are a lot of small lifestyle changes. Maybe you are doing 3 things right, but not doing 2 things. Everything else might be in place, but if your sleep at night is off, if you are sleeping at the wrong time, then your whole day is affected. You might be sleeping for 8 hours, but if you are sleeping at the wrong time, it doesn't happen. Maybe everything else in your life is fine, but for the past 6 or 7 years you've only been wearing synthetic clothes, sportswear, or synthetic underwear. Something is definitely off in your lifestyle. This video. Listen carefully, watch it 23 times, note points, mark them on your calendar, and from today for the next 6 months, stay away from habits. That's all I wanted to say to you. If you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe before you go. Share this video with all your brothers and sisters who are facing any kind of problem in having children. Thank you. I am Shiv Joburamlan, a retired Indian Air Force coach known for India's most successful fertility yoga trainer.